Hello, hello.
Hi,
Here, how are you today? Gallery
I'm
view.
good. Tired right now, but good.
All right, that Grady's coming in. All right, Anik's coming in. Hello, hello. Let's see. You guys might have all used Zoom before. Do you know when you're a guest? I've seen it when I was a guest before, but you have a gallery view, so you can actually see everyone, like the Brady Bunch, across the screen.
hmm
Have you played around with that? It's just nice to be able to see everyone.
Water heaters is like
Somebody's talking in the background. Let's see, we're all coming in. Excellent. Okay, let me take a bit of a roll call. Hello, Terry, Sylvie,
Hello.
Grady, Dwayne, Keita, Matia, and Dwayne, Trey, Anik. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, so I was just giving a little bit of, before we get started, if you are new to Zoom, hello Jay, then you can click a little, and in the top right-hand corner, you can click a little gallery view button, and that'll let you look at everybody like the Brady Bunch. And for those of you who aren't on video, that's fine, but should you choose to join us on video, we'd love to see you, so that everybody can have a face to your name. It just makes you all more memorable. Hey Jay, Jay's about to start work,
Hello.
so he's got to go
I
for
already started 1.5 hours ago. Yeah.
so he's taking a little coffee break. Okay, I think we might be waiting just for a couple more people, but we're going to get started because I know that everybody's dying to get into the content and get going. So I just set the scene for today. Basically, the purpose of today is our kickoff meeting. So I just want you all to feel welcome. I want you to get to know each other, get familiar with this environment, and basically, I guess, know the team that's on this epic journey with you for the next 6 months. So that is the first thing that hopefully will just transpire naturally as we go through our first meeting together. Next thing is I want to make sure that you have all the information that you need to be able to successfully complete the first assignment. If you can just, people who aren't on video, I can't see, but if you can show of hands, have you who's watched the first video? Who's had time? Okay, oh, that's pretty good. Jay, did you get time to watch it?
Yep.
You did. Okay, cool. Excellent. You didn't
Yes,
put
I
your
have.
hand,
Yes.
you didn't put your hand up. How am I supposed to know? And Dwayne and Trey, I'm just going to have to pretend that
I
you
did, just not in the frame.
All right. Well, that makes a difference, guys. I think Trey is on a plane, so maybe still. So welcome. I always seem to be talking to Trey on a plane. Okay, cool. So if you guys have all watched the video, that's awesome, because then we can get straight into talking about how you're going to apply this into your business directly. So that's really good. And then the last thing I wanted to cover today was just some admin stuff to make sure that you're all okay with the systems and processes we've got in place. And I thought, since that's kind of the boring part, I would just start with that and get it out of the way first. So I'm just going to plow through that. I've got 6 items that I want to cover with regard to admin. First is I hummed and hawed. I know when we were in discovery calls, I was in discovery calls with some of you. I was like, I don't know if I should set up a private Facebook group or not for you guys. And at the end of the day, I decided to go ahead and do it. And there's already been some great interaction there with Terry and Atia. And I think Grady's been in there too. So that's really good. Oh, and Sylvie just has hopped in recently. So who has not joined the Facebook group yet?
Binay, I joined the group, but then I'm not sure if it was a group for another training that you had, because that one had I think 100 users or something like that. So I'm not sure if I got the right link.
Okay,
if you can send me the right link, it would be great.
I'll send out the right link again. So please put that as your homework. I'm going to send out the link again as a part of this. Please join that group, because it's our opportunity. I have another group which is called Online Coach Entrepreneurs. It has a lot of my past students in it, but it also has some people that I haven't worked with before. It's more of a community for people who are thinking of starting up and getting online as a coach. And it's a great group, and I encourage you, if you love groups, to join it. But this one is specifically about academy issues, where you can post your specific questions, and you're just working with these people. Okay, so I will send out the link again, and I'll just do it in a separate email, because I know I've been blasting you with emails lately just to make sure everybody's here on the call and so on. So I'll send out that link again. Please join that group, introduce yourself, and when you get stuck or you need help just post your questions in there because it's already proving to be a really supportive group. Okay, so that's the first one done. The next one is everybody who isn't in the portal yet. I think everybody's in. We've got somebody who's not here who isn't in the portal, and that might explain some things. Everybody's nod if you're in the portal. How about? Yes, or thumbs up. Thanks, Grady. Thumbs up are good too. Okay, Trey and Dwayne, I'm just going to imagine that you're virtual. Yes, thumbs up until I hear from you. Oh, okay. Thanks, Dwayne and Trey. And where did okay. We've got some chat. So I am going to check in the chat. Bad connection on the plane is from Trey. So, Trey will make do, and this is being recorded, so you'll get the copy. Okay. So everybody's in the portal. The next thing is, I know in the first video, the welcome video, where I'm very enthusiastic welcoming you to the group, I mentioned that there's a planner and a checklist to kind of help keep you on track and know where you're up to. What I decided to do was I thought it would be really cool to actually make that public so everybody could see everybody's progress for a little bit of extra accountability. So I have created a Google Docs spreadsheet for that you can track yourself there, and then everybody else can see you too. So that's where that is. I have sent you out that link, but I know I've been sending out lots of links, so I will send that out again so that you get comfortable with that. But that is there for you as well. Okay, everybody, thumbs up if you're happy with that. If you have any questions, come on and ask. Yeah, everybody's good. Okay, cool. Okay, so then that's the spreadsheet. And that's just because I do find with groups like these, when you get lots of content and videos to keep a track of, as even though I try to keep my programs as lean and to the point as possible, because I know that we just don't have time for BS. But even so, you can kind of, it can be hard to remember, where you're up to and what's coming and what's next. So that little checklist just says, week 1, you should have done this. Week 2, you should have done this, and so on. So it'll just help you stay on track. Okay, so that is the spreadsheet tracker. I put emails. I don't know why I put emails. You guys, I do send lots of email reminders and things. I think everybody's getting emails except for the one guy who's not here. So I'm just going to take that as a good, unless you guys report to me later that anybody having any problems with emails. You getting lots of emails from me? Thumbs up. Yeah. I'm looking around doing the scan. Okay, cool. And Tia's in her car. Hey, I saw. Okay. And meeting times. I just wanted to check in. There has been some talk about maybe Trey wanted to know if we can move this meeting earlier or later. Is this a good time for everybody? Would you prefer that we move it earlier? Anybody have any views on that?
I'm actually happy with earlier. Vinay, as you know, I'm based in Sydney, right? So this is 9:30 for me. If we could have it a little bit earlier, it would be actually really good.
Jay would be happy with early. Sylvie, you raise your hand. You're happy with earlier? Or
Yeah, I would be happy with her earlier too.
Sylvie was happy with earlier. Who I know Anique probably would be, since what is it, 11 o'clock for you at night there in Belgium? She's thinking about unmuting, I think. Am I reading her facial expressions? Okay, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm off. Okay, does anybody how about let's start with this. Does anybody have a problem with moving the meeting earlier? No. Takeda, welcome, Takeda. Great to see you.
How much earlier?
Just an hour before now.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Would that be good? Okay, so I'm getting a positive vibe from moving the meeting an hour earlier. Okay, I need to check my calendar and make sure that's going to be okay with me. I think I can do it. Every once in a while, I have to do school drop-offs at that time, so I'll have to have polite conversations with my husband and bartering. Okay, an hour early. So let me just make a note. So that is up for grabs. I will communicate with you guys through the portal and through email to confirm that for our next meeting or not. Okay, so just make a note that that might happen. Next week might be an hour earlier. Okay. Okay, that meeting time and strategy and niche sessions. A couple of you already I know that you're still working on your coaching niche and refining that so that you can actually successfully do the first exercise. I've got a couple of appointments already booked in with you guys. Terry, yours isn't in the calendar yet, but it will be. Grady, we're talking on Friday, and I've already had one with Jay. That is an option for you. So if at any point you're like, I'm feeling confused, I need to talk to Benet, let's get that booked in sooner rather than later. You do have 2 meetings with me. So I just wanted to remind you about that. Another opportunity that's a really nice time to have the session with me is after we do the next lesson, or when we're doing our mud maps, just to have a time to go through and help me, work with me to go through because you're actually going to map out your signature program really soon, and it's nice to have a sounding board. So that's a good opportunity to get me booked in to look over that with you when you're feeling ready. So sometime this month is probably a good time to use that. And for those of you who are still questioning niche, let's get booked in ASAP, because that needs to happen soon. Okay. That's all my admin. Did I forget anything? Does anybody have any questions or feeling stuck about accessing documents? I know Jay had trouble opening the spreadsheet that I referred to. Did anybody else? Is there anything coming up that I need to be aware of as far as admin? And I can see you all. Everybody's good. Okay. And Jay, did you get that? Were you able to open the spreadsheet that I emailed to you?
It looks much better in the email, but I haven't tried to open it on my Mac, so I'll do it tonight and let you know.
Okay, great. Keep me posted. Okay, that's everything then. So we can get straight into the content. So I think what I might do is just quickly, hey, Trey, he's on a plane. Awesome. I'm going to quickly share my screen with you and just switch over. This is the presentation that we all went through, and it was all about mining for gold, and it's all about, this process of co-creation is the way of the future. And I think you're starting to see lots of my competitors are talking about co-creation too. This is actually something that I learned from my IT career in user experience as a user experience designer, but it's basically the way of the future. Anyway, this is what I wanted to get to, was the 3 steps to gold. And I want to hand over to you guys, because I want you to all start to get to meet each other. And I hope that you've done some thinking already about who your ideal client is and the transformation you deliver. And I would like you to present that to the group. I'd also like you to talk about just tell everybody where you're based and what time it is for you right now, just so we have that context as well. And then we'll talk about starting your lead machine, and then we'll move on to the 1-question survey. And I'm hoping that today we'll have enough time to get around to everybody and actually tease out, make sure that we're really clear on your ideal client and your transformation, except for those of you who are still working on your niche, and actually tease out your 1 question that you're going to take to your network. Okay?
Are you okay if I kick off first?
Yeah. We do need to start with Jay because he's got to leave early. Okay, I'm just going to stop my share. I just wanted to show you that so you had a visual. Okay, so we'll start with Jay. Any questions before we get started? Just speak out if you've got any questions. That's where we're going. Okay, so everybody looks good. Jay, over to you. Please tell us your ideal client and the transformation and where you're based.
Oh yeah, so I'm based in Sydney. I have a day job. That's probably you realize I'm wearing a tie and all that stuff. And it's 9:30 here. So I looked at actually 3 niches at the moment, and Binay is aware that they all look really nice and interesting, and I can't decide which one to go with. So the 3 niches that I have at the moment are helping women to find true love through self-love. This can also be used for, adequately translated for men as well. Helping guys become an interesting man. Targeting guys who've been stuck in the rut of looking for a partner and not realizing that, they have to work on substance rather than outward presentation of, how they present to the world. And the third one was helping busy professionals to find balance in life. So I had a look at them, and I guess my question, Binay, would be, where would you point me to narrow those niches down? I know you've got a lot of this covered in the document, which I had a look at. Perhaps just maybe a little bit narrow focus for me would be good, because, as I said, I'm kind of tossing between three others, and they look all quite interesting to me, and some are a bit safer than others because of my experience, as you know.
Yes.
And a question I have specific to transformation. So when I'm looking at the question, so for instance, the first niche, I was struggling a little bit. How would I phrase it? So, for instance, I was thinking, what are the three challenges that stand in the way of finding a true love with self-love? I guess that comes with a presupposition that someone already thinking that they need self-love to be a part of a, looking for a partner strategy. And then I'm not quite sure, if I approach someone who is single and they're looking for a partner, would they even consider that option? So I'm thinking, would I be going then with a bit broader question, what is standing in your way? But then self-love may not even come up there.
Yes. I mean, you've actually brought the perfect example to the table, Jay, because what we know as coaches as the solution to the problem is self-love. However, they do not know that yet. If they knew that,
That's right.
working towards it, they might suspect it on some level. However, that's probably not how they describe their problem. So you're absolutely right with your thinking in that you need to chunk up, and you need to chunk up to the problem they're having right now. So in that situation, what is the problem that they're having now?
Okay. And does it mean that potentially the niche may actually morph into something different? Let's say, for instance, if none of the guys I've been talking to feel that they need to build a substance and there is something else that they're missing, does it mean that I have to adjust my niche then and come up with something else?
If you want to sell your product, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to deliver what they need and speak their language. I mean, I suspect that you will come back to teaching self-love, but you're going to market it a little bit differently. And that's what we're teasing out. Emmerich, great to have you with us. Hi. Okay. So how's that sitting with you, Jay?
No, that's pretty good. And another question then around this exercise, what are the timings around it? Because I know we're going to be going through 6 months program, with some defined goals for each. I was just looking at, I don't have yet where my target audience, I suppose, or where I'm going to find them. I think it'll be just talking to friends or people I interact with that I know fall into that category for me. Do you have a particular timeline? Do we have like 1 week, 2 week time to
kind of got
interview?
I would like you to start collecting data as soon as by our next meeting, so that you have something to bring to the next meeting. But really, you can do this research gathering for the next 2 weeks. But I would say that's the window. Like, you want to start moving on your mud map soon. And that spreadsheet that I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, which I will send you a link to at the end, the planning spreadsheet, that'll actually show you week 1, week 2, week 3, so how long you've actually got for everything. They can blur a little bit. There's some flexibility, but you need to go out now. I guess the thing that's coming up for me is, are you going to go ahead and go forward with those 3 niches and do some digging? Oh, there you've moved.
Well, I felt that perhaps I need some help to just like narrow them down, and not necessarily, in a strategy session. I'm thinking more if there's like a document that you already sent me, perhaps there's something there that I can just narrow it down, because I think if I just start spreading myself thin, it's going to take time, and it's maybe unnecessary effort as well.
Yeah. Let's just see, because one of the reasons I love these small groups is it becomes a bit of a mastermind too. I just know, like, for you guys who have been listening to Jay and you've heard his 3 niches, so it's basically men who want to be more interesting and attractive to women, but and his process that he wants to teach is self-love, or women who want to be more attractive to a man, and because Jay's got a lot of friends that girlfriends who naturally gravitate to him about that, or helping professionals find balance in their career. Jay wants help narrowing down. I just want to know, is anybody having any intuition or insights, that just anything that's coming up that they really want to share with Jay? If you do, just put your hand up, or I can't see you on video, then you're going to have to just come off mute and tell me. I just want to know if anybody's got something. I just want to check in. Emmerich's got something. And Terry next.
Great.
Okay, Emmerich, you got to come off mute.
Me now?
Yeah, go.
Okay, great. So yeah, I just want to say that I think that's a great niche. I like the one about building self-love for guys. like I'm part of the mastermind in Vancouver called Man Talks, and it's all about just developing like self-aware sort of men that go out there and really crush it in life. I also follow a guy called Andrew Therapy, as part of Knowledge for Men. You might be familiar with his work, but I also say that this is a really pretty big movement right now, and I feel like it's just going to keep growing. So for you to go into that space, I think it's awesome. It's definitely needed, and I feel like there's a big opportunity there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and I just got major goosebumps. Emmerich, thank you so much. I knew there was wisdom waiting in the group for Jay.
That's great.
Okay, Terry, did you want to add anything to that?
I was just going to say I agree 100% with Emmerich, whether it's on the man side or whether on the woman side. Being able to be attractive to that, again, to finding a partner or just being more attractive is something that I think is desperately needed. And like Emmerich said, that market's going to just continue to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jay, they're all like reaffirming the whole balance thing. Like that's your safe, that's your comfort zone. That's your closest thing to your corporate job. Like just let it go. Your exciting, dynamic, loving life and your full passionate self, I really think is going to be revealed through this niche and exploring that even further.
It took 3 people to convince me.
Sylvie, you're holding up your book. Does that mean you have something to say? No, she doesn't have something to say. She's just holding up her book. Okay.
Emmerich, sorry, Benay. Emmerich, can you send me those names? I'm actually not familiar with who you mentioned. I would like to explore that.
Yeah, can you post it in the Facebook group? Because there are a couple of other people who might be interested too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, no problem.
You missed a bit. We do have a private Facebook group for the Academy that I'll send you all the link to, so make sure you're all in there so that you can connect. Okay, and Jay, what I'd like to see from you is before you go out and post your things in you go out to your network, post your questions to our group and get some feedback from us on it. Okay, just to make sure that you're hitting it at the right point. I know Terry's going to be ready. She's already active in there, so she'll give you some good feedback about the woman's one especially. And then if you want any help about recommendations for groups that that maybe you should join where your ideal clients are hanging out already, it sounds like Emmerich's going to be a great resource, and probably some other people will have some ideas for you too. And that actually goes for everybody. So I think the more we use that group in between meetings to get like help, like that's what we're all here for, to support each other, because I really see us as a team. Okay,
Beautiful. Thank you, guys.
Feeling good, Jay?
Yeah, look, that's amazing.
You're ready to tackle that exercise?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, perfect. Okay, and then you'll get the spreadsheet. Put your data in that. I think it's tab 3 in the spreadsheet, and then you'll be ready to rock and roll by next meeting. Okay, so that's Jay done. Who wants to go next? Don't everybody jump up at once. Takeda. Oh no, Takeda beat you to it. Emmerich, you can go next.
Okay, all right, it's fine.
Hi, everyone. I am Takeda Bryce. I am an author, speaker, spiritual growth coach. I guide people in developing a spiritual strategy to help them be successful in every area of their lives. And that can be done in a myriad of ways. I help them develop an uncommon commitment to carry out the instructions or tasks that God has given them. So mine is Christian spiritual coaching. So my ideal client has to be a Christian because we have to share the same belief structure. I help them move towards spirit-led living and spirit-led responses to life events. I help them identify their passions, dreams, strengths, and values, discover who they are and what they're called to do as far as what God's will says. There's something else I wrote down. I help them make healthy changes in their lives that are more in line with God's will, etc., etc.
Excellent. Okay, I think that sets the stage for us very well. So did you say where you were based? Did I just miss?
I am in North Carolina.
North Carolina. Cool.
Yeah.
Welcome, Takeda. Lovely to have you with us. Okay, so did you have a chance to watch the first lesson?
I did.
And how are you feeling about the question that you're going to take out to your audience?
I hadn't gotten that far yet.
You haven't gotten that far yet. Okay, cool. Do you have any questions before we move on to the next person, or are you good?
I'd like some feedback. Does that make sense to everybody? because I know when you and I were talking, I needed to get more succinct. So I think I've kind of narrowed it down and pretty much gotten it to a place where while I'm explaining it, everybody can understand what actually it is I do.
Yeah, who's got some feedback for Takeda? Terry's shaking her head. Do you want to say something?
Takeda, I was just going to say, I thought it's a great niche. I'm a pastor's wife and a minister myself. And so having something, specifically niched down to that Christian base, I think is absolutely something that's needed. And being niched down to that Christian base will absolutely separate from kind of all of that other general target.
Excellent. And Terry, do you have any tips or advice for Takeda on when Takeda goes out and actually asks her one question survey question, where should she go? Like, should she go to church groups? Are there any Facebook groups you know of that she would be good for her to get involved in?
There are, Takeda, you already may be involved in some of the, especially now were you targeting females or is it male and female?
I'm targeting females.
Female.
Okay. There are quite a few of the Christian-based groups that are out there. There's not any one that kind of stands out. To me, I would definitely start looking for some of those influencers, even if it's, I don't know how much you listen to different podcasts and things, but some of the Christian female influencers that are doing podcasting. And I'd start kind of looking at those folks and maybe seeing if they are, active in, what type of groups that they may have, that they may be active in to help have some more insight.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Okay, anybody else have some feedback for Takeda? Was her niche clear? Any questions to help her clarify it just that little bit further? Just doing a scan.
Yeah, so maybe, and again, I apologize to me, I wasn't paying 100% attention maybe, but just clearly, so what does working with you entail? Yeah, if I were to hire you as a coach, what would you deliver on?
I would help you with spiritual strategies to help you be successful in any area. So as a Christian, the Word of God specifically talks about us living our lives in abundance. And so that means in every area of your life, you're supposed to flourish. And so sometimes people feel like I was explaining to Benet, I had a young lady do a discovery call with me about a relationship issue. People think that there's one central thing that's wrong in their lives when actually it's something else. It's their spiritual growth that's the problem that's helping them make these bad decisions in the other areas. So I help them get down to the root of that cause and then help them see that if this is taken care of, then the relationship will fall in line, then the finances will fall in line, then everything else will fall in line.
Yeah, and one thing that I picked up when Takeda and I had our discovery call was I loved how you say that you help people get on the same page with God, and then that's in all aspects of their life. It really is a cross-contextualized. I mean, we're going to tease out the marketing messaging and the actual prizes and the outcomes a lot more in this next step, which is why you need to go out to market and ask people. So do you just throw us a question out there if you can, Takeda? What question are you thinking of posting, of going out to market with? What are the top 3 challenges keeping you stuck from?
Oh, I did do that. The being on the same page with God.
Mm-hmm.
I got one response.
Okay.
And it was a long, lengthy response. And so actually I had to pass it along to my husband because it was a guy. So I handle the girls, he handles the guys.
Okay, so that's cool. So what that tells me, if you just got one response, either you're not in a very active group or that question isn't resonating with people. So let's shake up the question again. So let's find, what we got to find is their pain point now. So Terry's got an idea.
And just one thing, and I realized because somebody else told it to me as well, when you're asking for kind of that pain point, people may not publicly want to say or admit that they have a pain point. So I don't know, Benet, if you have any ideas as well, how you can get engagement when it's something where people are admitting they are falling short in an area publicly.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we've had the coaches who did this successful signature program before you guys. One of them was childhood abandonment issues. Like they were all happy to talk about that. We've had a faith one before, so I think people actually are quite happy to come out and talk about their pain point. But you've got to be in the right group. So finding that right network, and even if it's going around your church and interviewing people just one-on-one privately, if that's what you need to do, that's fine. But you've got to get 8 people who fit your ideal client point. But it sounds like, Takeda, with you, we really need to find that question, and maybe we'll tease that out in the Facebook group, and if we don't come up with something right at this moment. But what's the number one challenge keeping you stuck from living a fully spiritual life? Maybe it's something like that.
Okay.
Or incorporating spirit in every aspect of your life. Because that sounds like, that came through. Emmerich, did you hear that too? That when Takeda was talking, it didn't matter what part of life, it was the God piece, the spirit piece, it was actually the root, or that center point. So do you like that one at all? Takeda?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, did you write it down? Because I don't remember what I just said.
I've learned with you. I got my pen right here. I wrote it down.
And this is recorded this time. So, okay, awesome. Okay, so we're gonna move on.
Binay, is Jay. Just a quick question. Comment. In terms of getting responses anonymously, what I did, I actually used a SurveyMonkey. I don't know if you guys are familiar, where I was sending requests, posting requests on a couple of self-development forums and my personal Facebook page, and I mentioned there that the survey is anonymous, but also I ask people to leave their phone numbers or emails if they want to discuss further. So perhaps this is something can work for you as well.
Great idea, Jay. Thank you so much for putting that in. Okay, let's move on. So I think Emmerich had his hand up next, so over to you, Emmerich.
Okay, I'm next.
Okay. You can do it.
Okay, sorry. No, I apologize. I missed the first part of the meeting. So what exactly am I presenting here?
Oh, right. Sorry. You are just saying you're introducing yourself and where you live, and then I would like you to talk about your ideal client and the transformation you deliver, and then let's do any brainstorming that you need so that you can successfully complete this first lesson, which is that one question survey.
Right. Okay. So hi, my name is Emmerich. I live in Vancouver, BC, in Canada. I am a performance coach for students. So another name is Academic Life Coach. Essentially what I do is I help students to better manage and design their life so they can not only excel at school, but build an awesome life for themselves. I feel like it's very needed. The school system doesn't really teach students to live a whole and dynamic life. And what I would have created is just a different approach to really building your life that I feel is more suited to today for today's day and age. So the way that I do that, if I could break that down, then I help students become the hero of their life. So it's really all about taking self-responsibility. So that's looking at the bigger picture. So looking at like their life journey, looking at providing a framework for how to build their life. There's also it goes into like human 101. So what are the basics of being a human being? Like what's the operating manual for being a human being, which I feel like is something that we never received. And we have operating manuals for everything that we do almost, except the
for our
most
TV.
part, which is,
Our remote, our phone.
So just briefly, I don't want to go into all the details, but so becoming the hero of your life, then it goes into like pillars of success. So there's 4 pillars, in my opinion.
That's okay. We don't need to go into all the pillars yet. We will get into that into the mud map. So it's cool. Emmerich's got quite a lot of content already ready. It's just now it's like honing that marketing message, going out and reconnecting and engaging to figure out who's actually going to buy this. So Emmerich's got this interesting situation where he's actually his client, the person he's working with, is actually the student. However, there are other stakeholders involved in that buying decision. So this is an interesting thing for this first piece of the puzzle. So Emmerich, did you get a chance to watch the lesson 1? I saw that you got in quite late. Okay. So the process that we're going through is identifying your ideal client and transformation you deliver. It sounds like you're pretty clear on that. The ideal client, do you want to, can you articulate that a little bit and where you're going to find them to ask them this question?
Yeah, so I would say that my ideal client is sort of students that are high achievers. So they're excelling at school and they're not being challenged. They're looking for another approach, another sort of program, educational program out there that can help them to really excel, not just in school, but to make sure that they're ready to be successful in their life and for.
Okay, so as far as your top 3 challenges question that you're going to go out and ask these high achievers, so what are the top 3 challenges keeping you stuck from? What do you think is the question that's going to resonate with them where they are right now?
Yeah, it's tough. So I'd say maybe one is from taking full responsibility of your life. Another one is from, I would say excel at school, but they're already doing quite well. From, really building the life of your dreams. If that may be a bit too much to ask for a younger person.
Yeah. Okay, this
really,
is great. I mean,
really sort of bring your game so that you can accomplish your goals in life, right? So a lot of them, my students, like they're starting to think about, like if they're, if they start thinking about their life, they're thinking about like what university they want to go into. So that's something that they have in mind already. Maybe they have a vision, they want to go to Harvard or they want to go some Ivy League school. Or,
Yeah. Okay, I think Emerick is demonstrating a really beautiful example that a lot of coaches come up against, because he's kind of already talking like through some of the transformation, like they've already been through that. But I mean, if you think about a 13-year-old kid, is that kind of the age that we're talking about? Yeah. I mean, what is going through their mind right now? I mean, does anybody have any teenagers at home? Like, are they thinking about building the life of their dreams? So we've got to really find the problem point, the pain point that's in that mind of the 13-year-old.
That's, I'd say, one of the challenges that I'm having is, for me, it's almost quite clear and it feels good to really talk about that. But for them, they may not even be in the headspace to think about this.
Okay, Terry's got something.
Now, Emerick, is this something that you are gearing more though towards parents? So would parents be the one they're the deciding factor, apparently, of this program, a child doing this program? So would it need to be something that appeals to the parents?
Most definitely, yeah.
Okay.
It has to appeal to both the parents and the
students
and their kids.
Okay.
So I was going to suggest something, Emerick. Binay actually in her video talks about appealing to 2 different clients. I can't remember the words Binay used, and then she was suggesting that you would interview 2 stakeholders, so to speak, and then you'll speak in a language of both of them, but primarily targeting parents, because they will be, in this case, they'll be the ones paying the bill. I'm not sure if it's helpful, but that's how I would probably approach it with that knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. Where are you at with that thinking, Emerick? What are you thinking about going out to parents and to students separately in this first? I realize you haven't watched the video yet. So. This first
I apologize. I've been just crazy these past few days.
I got that.
Yeah. I'd say really at first it would start with parents. For example, okay, honestly, I bought a car today. I'm sitting at the desk of the person that's doing all the papers. She's asking me, what do I do? Ends up that she has 2 kids and she just hired me today, right? So I bought my car and I got a client. So
it's parents. Okay, cool.
But so I had a good chat with the parents, and then she was convinced, and she is now talking to her son, and then we're confirming that that we are going to work together. So
awesome.
But the initial approach was parents.
Okay. So I think for this first question, what are the top 3 challenges keeping your child stuck, I guess, from getting into their preferred university, or getting the most out of their time in high school right now, or performing even though they're bored, or being engaged even though they're bored. So it'll be something around that, I think. So let's move on, Emmerich, but please post your ideas for your question in the group, because we've all been across your situation right now. We can give you some feedback and say, yeah, that's a good one, or and some ideas.
Awesome.
All good?
Great. Thank you.
Okay. And you've got some networks that you can reach out into to get at least 8 responses to your question?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. If you need help searching ideas, this is also a gold mine here of resources all over the world. So they'll be able to help. Okay. Who would like to go next? Thank you, Emmerich. Okay, Atia. Welcome. Is Dwayne with you? Oh no.
Yes, he's with me, but he's actually at work, so that's why he's not on video. Hello, everyone. Please excuse Mickey Mouse in the background. I just had I have an 8-month-old, and so the only way I can keep him calm is to watch Mickey Mouse. But hi, my name is Atia Johnson. My husband Dwayne Johnson is on the call. We are based in New Jersey. Right now, it's about 8:10 p.m. So we're kind of stuck in the middle of figuring out our ideal client, but we would like to put together a relationship coaching business. And so what I've got from asking the questions, Benet, online, we asked one question and we got over 40 responses. Yeah, and so from what we got from that question, I think our ideal client would be someone who is in a relationship already, kind of having issues, to kind of help them navigate through building what they have and making that a successful and fulfilled situation. Mm-hmm. But then there are some other avenues I see that we can go with it, but I just don't know where to start or which one is the best niche to start at.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think, first of all, can you share with it, because Atia and Dwayne, in our discovery call, they had their niche sorted out. So we just plowed through and I was like, you guys go ahead and get started. So they just did. So that's why they're a little bit ahead right now. So well done, guys. Go team. So what question did you actually ask? So everybody can hear the actual words that you went out and got such a fantastic response. And then the next part of my question is, and then where did you post it?
Okay, so the question that we asked was, what are your top 3 challenges keeping you
unhappy
stuck
in a relationship?
Okay, thanks, babe.
Keeping you.
So it was what are the top 3 things that are keeping you unhappy in a relationship?
Unhappy. Okay. And where did you post it?
We post on Facebook.
Okay, and on your private page, personal page, in a group, where exactly?
So Dwayne started a Facebook page for, it's called The Love Corner. So he started a page for that. So we post on that page, and then we tag my personal page as well as his personal page in it. And so the responses that we got were more. We got about 5 on the new page, so the Love Corners page, and then the responses where we got the most from was on his personal page. But that was the Facebook page that we originally started doing the lives and things of that sort. So we had a lot of followers following us from wanting to watch the lives that we were doing every Sunday.
Okay, cool. So, but that was Dwayne's personal page?
Yes.
Okay, that's great to know. I just wanted everybody to know that so they can get some ideas about how they might post their question. Okay, so I just want to go around. Does anybody have any questions or need any clarification on what Atia and Dwayne just explained? Anything coming up? No, everybody's good. Okay, so where are you guys now? What do you need to get the most out of this meeting today?
So I guess for me, it would be, so out of the responses that we got, my issue is how to determine from the responses that we got, what is the perfect niche. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Or
does.
the perfect avenue to go based on the responses? Because I know, you were telling us with the questions, we're goal minding. So we're getting, the inputs to kind of put everything together. But I just don't know how to connect those dots, if that makes sense.
Okay, I know exactly what I want to do because I've been looking for a guinea pig because I want to record a video of how I go through this with somebody. So I'd love to, I'll reach out to you guys after. Let's go jump on and record an actual coaching session of me talking to you guys. And then you can be an example for everybody. Does that sound good?
Yes.
I knew that person would present themselves today. So you guys are in there. So I'll reach out to you, we'll book that, and then I'll go through it with you, and we'll fill out that spreadsheet together. And then that's great because it'll give everybody else an example they can watch in their own time. We'll probably do another live at the next meeting too, if anybody else wants that experience. We'll do it live so everybody else can watch. Okay, so we'll do that. If we do that, you guys good?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I love it. Okay, who wants to go next? Okay, Anik.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, welcome. She's in the dark.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah. So I'm Anik, and I'm calling from Belgium, Europe. I'm now for 10 years a consultant in transformation in organizations, but my main specialty is HR. So bringing new tools, being more employee friendly, I would say. And by the end of this year, I would like to go more on one-on-one coachings and really get out of the business because I had enough of business. So that's why I joined the program. My purpose is helping people find their true freedom. And that means a lot and means nothing. But the question that came up with checking out the video is, what are the 3 top challenges keeping you stuck, getting more quality time for yourself?
Okay.
Because from coaching's already done, people come with, I have a bad job, I want to change from job, but they have so much luggage, family, partner, they have no balance at all in their lives. So it's making their life, cutting it out, slicing it up, simplifying it. And with simplifying their lives, they get more freedom. And then I will connect to the freedom inside, mind, soul, and everything. But that's further on.
Yeah, cool. And are you targeting men and women or just women, or who's your ideal client?
I don't really, maybe you can help me with that later, but I don't really like labels, putting people in boxes, men, women. I just look what comes to me. But I must say that the last 2 years, I have had more and more women in coaching. So yeah, I want to organize retreats, spaces there. I would make them separate for men and for women because it's a total different energy. But I just want the people to feel free and that everything is possible. That's my intention.
Okay. Thank you, Anik. So I want to see if anybody's got something they want to say to Anik, any questions they've got for her about her niche.
Yeah, I do. Anik, I feel that you on a similar journey that I had. And again, I feel that your niche is a bit broad because there's so many definitions of freedom. And then it's because I did a lot of training in life coaching, right? And the issue I had is that when people come to me, they want to have better life, but it can mean so many different things. And then I feel like maybe you may be getting a lot of responses that are just going to hit all over the place. I did similar thing about balance in workplace, and people came up with all kinds of things like financial issues. There were things about strive to be perfect. What I'm trying to say is that you may end up getting answers that will potentially point you at your niche. Because at the moment, its niche sounds a bit broad to me.
It sounds well. Let's. Thank you, Jay. Anik, where were you thinking of posting? What networks were you going to reach out to with this question? I kind of like the question. I don't know if anybody else, but like, I was trying to answer it myself. You know, what are the top 3 challenges keeping me from having quality time for myself? I was like, oh, that's a good question. That's a good question to answer. Where were you thinking of posting that?
Well, I did some, I like to play on social media. I'm in a lot of wonderful women groups, etc. on Facebook. So I posted sometimes, I'm playing with it, some questions about different topics. And I had always, between 10 and 20 responses on that. And with that, I could build my programs now and my website to get more clarity. But also when posting is more difficult for men, I would say, on social media, but I network a lot, and there the men talk more easily, I would say.
Okay. So have you already got some feedback on this question? What are the...
On this one, no. I was asking other questions from what is annoying you at this moment in your life that you would like to change, for example, or focusing more, because I had one guy in coaching and he was total introvert, almost an autistic type, and it was challenging for me. So I asked questions about introvert, extrovert, all that, because people always put labels on themselves, what brings a lot of limitations. And that gave also a lot of responses and ideas, and people who were interested, oh yes, I would like to discover how to be more extrovert or to be more to the inside, things like that. So at this point, I didn't target to make money, but I just targeted like a game. Okay.
I think Jay, did bring up an interesting point about, being, I guess a coach who can coach anybody versus I'm guessing because of your corporate background and because of your eloquence and everything that you do tend to attract a certain type of person. So I think the more we can hone in and figure out what are the common trends in those people, I think that'll really help us rein in, like, what is it about you that people are really drawn to? Are they corporate people? Are they professionals? Are they really spiritual? Are they coaches? Are they in a specific industry? We need to find some common thread that ties them together. Because that's going to help you focus and help you market. Because I get that, you've got lots of ideas and you could teach on lots of things, especially looking at your website the other day. You cover lots of big topics. Corporate work. So I think for you, we really need to help you focus just with this signature program. And then once this one's done, you can branch out.
Perfect.
But honing in. Okay. So anything coming up for you? Any questions to help you move forward this first exercise?
This time it's okay.
It's okay. Okay. Anybody have any messages for Anik before we move on? No? Okay. We're all good. Who wants to go next? Thank you, Anik. Okay, Sylvie.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
So I'm in Quebec, Canada, and my niche is chronically ill women. And now to niche even further down, I was at first thinking about the same chronically ill women who have big dreams, or I was even going to do maybe chronically ill women who own a business or who wants to own a business, but doing all the exercise from the
sweet spot.
Yeah, the sweet spot, the workbook. And this week's lesson, I'm thinking of leaving it at something like chronically ill women live their best life ever, or something a bit broader. And my really first problem that I encounter is the transformation, because I haven't had time to gather enough data to see if what I wanted to offer was actually what women with chronic illness wanted to receive. So that's where I'm kind of stuck right now.
Okay, so is the transformation that you deliver through your work helping chronically ill women have the best life ever? I mean, is that the transformation?
Well, that's what I want to offer. I don't have clients yet. I'm just starting out, so yeah. I kind of felt a bit behind in the work because of that, and because starting at the last minute the program.
Yeah, no, it's okay. You have experienced this yourself, right? And you've had the best life ever as through your own experience with a chronic illness, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So you've got the material. The job of this course is basically just to tease that out of you because it's all there, right? Okay, so with regard to your question that you're going to go out and ask, what are the top 3 challenges keeping you stuck from?
I want to word it not as broad as living your best life ever, because that doesn't mean much like that. So I was thinking of something like 3 challenges keeping you from doing what you want, even if you have a chronic illness. Or one I had was, let me check my notes, something about living with your disease, not in spite of it.
Mm-hmm.
So the 3 challenges keeping you from living your life with your disease instead of in spite of it.
Yeah. That one makes me have to think for a second. The first one was easier for my brain to digest. I don't want to just go on me. Let's go. Anybody have Grady? We haven't heard from you. What do you think about Sylvie's question? Put him on the spot. Got to keep you all on your toes.
Sorry about that. Well, if you repeat the question again, then I was listening, but
Okay, so Sylvie, just give us those 2 questions again, please. The 2 that you were toying with.
Yeah, the first was the 3 challenges keeping you from, what was I said?
Doing what you want even with a chronic illness.
Yeah. Doing what you want even with a chronic illness, or the 3 challenges keeping you from, no, what was it again? Sorry, I'm tired. It's late for me.
Okay, you had the other one written down, so.
Yeah, from living your life with your disease, not in spite of it.
I like the concept. Is there a specific disease as opposed to just chronic disease? I'm a diabetic, so something I had kicked around was literally focusing on something to do with being a diabetic, because I'm a recently diagnosed diabetic. And so it's this realization that you're not alone. There's lots of other people that are also going through it, but it's about learning how to live with it. And so I wonder if a specific chronic disease would be a better way to niche, because there tends to be all kinds of publications and things for specific chronic diseases.
Interesting idea. What do you think about that, Sylvie?
Yeah, it's a great idea. I think I've thought some of my focusing to be on fibromyalgia, because that's what I have, and chronic fatigue syndrome. And I found, because I was looking for groups on Facebook for chronic illness, for people with chronic illness but who have a positive outlook on life or something like that, and I couldn't quite find big groups. So I focused on fibromyalgia, and the first group I found was like 50,000 people. So
wow.
So those are bigger groups, and so I was hoping to get a better rate of answer for my question, and so I started participating in that today, and so it might be a good idea, Grady.
Yeah.
I was thinking too that oftentimes, like with fibromyalgia or even with diabetes, we don't think of ourselves as having a chronic disease, even though we know. So I would think that people are more apt to search on the specific niche of fibromyalgia or diabetes, and then you can dig really deep into that particular topic.
And then that posting a question with fibromyalgia in the actual questions, probably what's keeping you from living your best life ever, despite or with fibromyalgia. You know, I mean, that's probably going to get some traction.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Grady,
And I will say,
I needed to call on you. What was it? Like, I'm just like, it's Grady's time.
well, I will say in my defense, I'll go, if it's okay, I'll go ahead since I don't have a niche. As I was listening to everybody, I was actually searching on the other computer around niche ideas that I had, so you caught me off guard. But I'm Grady Batchelor. I'm in New Hampshire in the United States.
Before we go on, Grady, let's just make sure Sylvie's, good. Sylvie, are you good?
Yeah.
Can we move on? Grady would love to go next.
Yeah, the only thing I have is I feel like I need more time to gather data to ask my survey question from the work.
You don't need more time. Just do it. Ask them that question. What's keeping you from living your best life with fibromyalgia? Everybody agree with that? Anybody have any other? Yeah, like you're ready. Just do it. Like.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you can always go out and ask another question if you're unsatisfied with those results, but get started because I think you're going to find gold, and that's what this is about. It's actually really, really easy. Go out and post it in that 50,000 member group and post it a couple of times if you're allowed to, just to make sure you get your numbers, and you're gonna be really happy, I think.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, all good? Okay, Grady, now over to you, honey.
Sorry, I'm Grady Batchelor. I am located in New Hampshire in the United States, so I'm in the Eastern Time Zone with all. I apologize. Whoever was on earlier from New Jersey, we're in the same time zone. So earlier in the night is actually better. By this time of the day, I am just about to go to sleep. Actually, Sylvie has probably given me an idea around I'll have to decide whether I'm passionate enough about the topic of diabetes to maybe potentially have that be a niche. I've been a coach since 1996. I took my original coach training at Coach U. I've since done lots and lots of other coaching with different organizations. I run a certified professional coach and mentor program for a university. It's one of the many programs. I built that program, but it's one of the many programs I run because I'm the dean of continuing a professional education. I have very eclectic interests, which has made it very difficult to decide what area to coach, to niche into. So I'm still working on that. We have a strategy session this week to try to narrow down, and I've been working tirelessly trying to narrow down something that I feel like I'm passionate enough about to stay interested in, because being eclectic means it takes a lot to keep my interest. So that's one concern I have because I'm a builder. So I build things and tend to hand them off to other people. So to build something that I stick with for an extended period of time is something new for me. So that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, and I also want to say that I think Grady is one of the most highly credentialed ICF coaches I've worked with to date. So, like, you've got so many CC blah, 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 blahs after your name. So I was impressed. I was like, wow, cool. Yeah, and you mentioned, too, when we had our discovery call, Grady, that, you really are into systems and business systems and that sort of thing. So, yeah, Grady might actually end up being my competitor, this time next year. So we'll see. In terms of, because of doing all the e-learning stuff, in terms of developing products and stuff, now that is something I am passionate about, but is a subset of like what you're doing. So my catch is I'm not sure. It's interesting. The people in the arena that I work in with educators, I'm not sure educators would pay for it. But on the flip side, I think a lot of people in doing what we're doing might actually pay for it, because there's the difference of creating courses that are informational versus transformational and inspirational. And most e-learning courses are far from inspirational or transformational. They're just pretty blah and boring. So, so that's something I'm very passionate about as well. Yeah, me too. As a creator and builder myself. Yeah, and you might end up. Anyway, I look forward to our strategy session. We'll get you through all your questions and everything, what question you're going to ask and on Friday. So I look forward to that. Thursday for you, Friday for me. Okay, thanks, Grady. Who wants to go next? Terry.
Hello, I am Terry Moten. I am down in South Texas, hence the country twang that you hear. I have actually, and Benay, I've actually narrowed down my niche that had been an issue. I was going back and forth between two niches. I have kind of a background in business, had been working on building a business consulting business. And I also, what I'm really known for kind of in my area is women's empowerment, and really empowering women, helping them get to the next level in terms of removing self-limiting beliefs and that sort of thing. So as a matter of fact, my husband, who's not on with me yet because he doesn't yet realize he's going to be a part of this, we had a long conversation today, and he helped me narrow down to that niche, because I told him, I said, I can do business, but it's neither here nor there for me. Women's empowerment, though, I live, breathe, die for women's empowerment. And he said, well, that's what you need to go with. Yeah. So I did post a question earlier today. I only got one, I think it was one, it might have been two answers on it. I think I was probably too wordy on the question and just didn't have it worded the right way. The question, as I worded it, was, if you are a woman who is trying to advance in her professional career or trying to get your business to the next level, what are the top 3 challenges that keep you from walking confidently in your power as you work towards your goal? Now that I listened to the question,
it's a bit long.
Yes. So what I kind of need help with is the wording, because the bottom line is I'm trying to get down to ask women, what are your, and it's women that are 35 to 55 years old that are either in a professional career or an entrepreneur, and that they're still on an advancement track, or again, they're in a building mode of their business. And I'm trying to find out what are the challenges that prevent them from walking confidently in their power to really develop the life they desire. Because that's been something that women have been asking me recently. They could care less about the business. They want to be able to walk in power, confidently in their power.
Mm-hmm. This might sound really silly, and maybe some of you guys have been writing down questions for Terry too. But what came up for me when you were just talking was, what are the top 3 challenges keeping you stuck from getting to the next level in your life and business or business?
That's simple.
It's that simple.
That's plain.
I mean, it involves because to do that, you need to walk in your power. You need to do that, but that's talking about like the steps. It's not actually talking about the problem. Like they're just stuck getting to the next level.
Right.
Yeah. I would love for you just to try that one and see how the reaction is different. Do you have some other groups you can tap into with that question?
Yes, as a matter of fact, because I just put that on my personal page.
Oh, cool.
So
okay.
I do have some other Facebook groups. I have some kind of women-specific business and entrepreneur groups on LinkedIn. And I can also kind of ask one-on-one because I'm involved in women's business networking organizations here in my city. So I can kind of shoot that out even and ask to some of them.
Perfect. You're going to get gold, Terry. I know that one is going to get you gold. Okay. How are you feeling about that?
Oh, I'm on cloud 9 because
you're on cloud 9.
That's what I live and breathe. So
well, and congratulations, Terry, for stepping into your passion, because I know you were humming and hawing about this, and good. I'm excited about David helping you make that decision, and for you to say, I live, breathe, and die. Women's empowerment. That's your. That's when this is what you're meant to do. So congratulations. Do you want to cancel that Friday session then?
Yes, I was going to say yes, please.
Okay, cool. I might see if we can give that one to Atia and Dwayne then. Okay, cool. Excellent. All right. I think we've got Renard left. Are you ready?
Hey everyone, this is Renard Brown. I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina, originally from Buffalo, New York. So hello, hope everyone's doing well. Oh, hey, Benay.
Hi.
All right, so Just a little bit of background about me. I have my hands tied into a variety of things. I never say no to anything, and I will always try something at least twice, just because the first one could be luck, or I may have a bad experience. And so, just the major things that have always inspired me to do and become more adventurous is I used to be a pro skateboarder, pro photographer, and now I'm an avid jiu-jitsu practitioner that tours the country and also the world, competing, and I own a school. And so one of the things that people ask me all the time is, how in the hell do you do that, have a family, also work in the fintech, financial banking, capital markets, and do everything, yet you still have time to like goof around and lounge? And it got me thinking, because people started tapping me on the shoulder, like, how in the hell is that even possible with you doing all of this stuff? And I had obtained a very, very bad or severe traumatic brain injury that left me unable to even speak, let alone add 1 + 1. And I rehabbed myself. I didn't go to the doctors or anything else. And so I tell you that backstory because this is tied to the type of coaching that I'd like to do. Now, being in the corporate world, my background is IT, so I build applications. I also build different systems. I do a lot of lean, if anyone's familiar with it, Lean Six Sigma type stuff, and Agile and Scrum development type things. And so what I figured is that I'd like to incorporate the Lean Six Sigma, Agile development, Scrum, into a human potential coaching. So instead of someone waiting, because everyone wants instant gratification, it seems like, instead of someone waiting weeks, if not a year, in order for them to realize the things that they want to do, what I am proposing is this. I set up, or I coach them just like I would actually build out an application, for a corporate client. And so instead of them saying, hey, how do you feel, and all this other stuff, that's honestly, I'm not being insensitive, but that's irrelevant to me. What I want to know is, what are your requirements? What exactly, give me the list of things that you're interested in doing, and I'm going to create with you a roadmap on how we're actually going to do it. But guess what? It's not going to happen in a year. It's going to happen within a month. And so we're going to, I want aggressive people. I want achievers that are not going to, more or less lollygag. I want people who are interested in creating solutions within the short term. They want immediate fixes, and I'm going to create an environment that's going to help inspire them to have those immediate fixes for them. So that's that's kind of like in a long, drawn-out way. What the type of coaching that I'm looking to do is more or less like human potential coaching, utilizing a lot of business practices and methodologies such as Six Sigma, Agile in particular, to advance someone's ability to achieve the type of things that they're looking to do.
That's awesome. I just want, Trey keeps coming in and out of the call. He's on a plane right now, but he is actually an Agile consultant who goes in and helps teams, and he's setting up his whole thing around an Agile framework too. So that's fascinating that the two of you are in this meeting, in this group together. Just keep a lookout for Trey. You guys should definitely connect. So Renard, when it goes to, going out and getting this information, answering the top challenges question, to this group, what's your plan? What's your question?
All right. Well, as far as my plan, the first thing is that I need to identify, who the people who I would call motivated achievers. So there's a filtering process of that. I think that's going to be somewhat of a challenge. So I'm trying to narrow down what type of groups tend to be that way. And what I'm finding is that I'm finding that the white collar professionals or people in, let's say, business tend to fit that mindset. Now, it's not to say that people in other industries don't have it, but that's the industry that I'm in. That's the culture that I'm in. That's what I'm familiar with. So, I think it's just identifying those types of folks. Now, in terms of the challenges, some of the things that I'm really finding is productivity issues. Productivity and focus tends to be the major reason why people are not advancing, at least in my little circle right here, and so because I had ADD and I also had the traumatic brain injuries, I've really developed different strategies in order to for me to thank you, buddy. I've developed different strategies in order for me to focus and accomplish things. And because I work as I don't know if you guys know what a portfolio manager is or a project manager guy is, but basically, imagine someone saying, hey, we have like 15 different things that we want to have built in all these applications, and you're going to do it, and we only have like 6 months to do it. Well, if you told that to someone with ADD, yeah, good luck. But that's what these people are entrusting me with. And I just figured out how to actually make it work and how to be uber productive with the resources that I have. And so I basically boiled it down. And so hunting for hungry people who want to be incredibly productive, who don't have long attention spans, those are the types of people that I want to attract. So other than that, I'm completely clueless.
Let's go out. Let's see what the group's got, because I'm sure there's some gold here. Who's got some ideas for where Renard can post it? We've got Terry and we've got Sylvie. Terry, you want to go first?
Renard, so first question is the kind of human potential coaching, is it going to be for individuals? Is it going to be, are you going in for teams in organizations, or either or?
Yeah, good question. So Benet and I had a story call, and she said that the coaching should be more or less group coaching, and I tend to agree with that just because it's better, my time is better leveraged. And so the breaks up that I am going to have course, I'll have online people. So people who are not the motivated people, they're going to get I would call it automated, take the course, and then the people that want to actually achieve and turn the dial, it's going to obviously be an expense, but I'll work with them individually. And then there's a bunch of people who share same characteristics. Then I'd rather do a group setting.
Yeah. Can I just, I know that Renard was breaking up a little bit there. So just, I think Terry and Renard, correct me if I've misinterpreted, but I don't think he's going straight for the corporation. He might work in groups, but it's going to be with groups of individuals as opposed to going in a company, being a team. Is that correct, Renard? At least to start.
Good.
Yeah. Is that
okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Then a suggestion that I would have is, because I come from a pharmaceutical sales background, so I would absolutely say anybody, especially when they are not even necessarily with a pharmaceutical company, but anybody in medical sales, especially independent sales, B2B sales, because a lot of these high achievers, I mean, they are high achievers. They are knocking down, especially when you've got somebody in medical sales or B2B sales that, maybe they have just hit that 6-figure mark, or maybe they're trying to hit the 6-figure mark in that independent sales. Those are great people because they know, I mean, it is just them. They don't have the backing of a company. They have to make the most productive time of the calls they make, scheduling, routing territories, that sort of thing. So that's one of the suggestions that I would have. Anybody B2B, but especially medical, kind of medical sales B2B. And there's a great group on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a number of B2B groups that you can join and pose those questions to, and would be, I think, some great opportunity there.
Cool. Awesome.
Like individual consultants, sales, that's good. And, I appreciate the feedback.
Sorry, Renard, your line is just a little bit sketchy, but I think you like the idea, Terry. That's what I'm hearing.
But we can connect offline or connect in the group, in the Facebook
definitely.
group, and I'll be happy to give some suggestions.
Thank you. Okay, Sylvie, you wanted to add something too.
Yeah, well, my first thought when you talked about who you were gonna sell this program to was high-level athletes or even Ivy Leagues students or graduates that are high achievers. So I was just thinking that these kind of people might be the kind of people who have the aggressiveness that you're looking for your program.
Yeah, that's
I am
a
taking
cool idea.
notes.
Yeah, Renard, do you have any contacts through your past lives and even what you're doing now with high-level athletes? That's a cool avenue.
I do. Yeah, I do. I was a part of the UFC for quite some time. So some of my students, fought in the UFC, and so I have access to, that area right there. So I do. I certainly appreciate it. I never considered it, but $5. All right, so that's good.
So I didn't catch that last thing. Just one more thing before we wrap up. I know when we talked on our discovery call, you were talking about people who also had quite a lot of success at one point, but then who had fallen off their block. I think that was the word that you used. So I don't know how you would find those people, but that was an interesting idea, like so that they're used to that cycle of trying something and either winning big or failing big. I don't know if that inspires anyone to give any ideas, but I know that really resonated with me.
No, that's the other part of it right there. So I think in life, we all have like these moments of greatness where we achieve a substantial amount of success, and whatever happens, we get knocked off of our block, and it's not that we're out, we're just down, and we just need like somewhat of like a little hand, like a hand to get us back on our feet, or maybe even a kick in the ass. But regardless of what it is, I'm looking at people at their potential and seeing how can I help rebuild them to make them great again. And so that's the other part of the coaching right there. People who want to get to where they need to be, and then people who had it and they lost it all, but they still have that drive to like get it back. So those would be, and Benet, thanks for bringing it up. Those would be the two types of folks. So there are two extremes that I would look for.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I think we'll all be thinking about you and thinking about people that, we might know that would be a good fit. So if anybody has any information, like the Facebook group is the place to bring together and to communicate that to each other, like, because we'll all be thinking about each other, I think, as the week goes, and especially because we're going to be working together for 6 months, we're going to get to know each other really well. So it's a good opportunity. Like the meeting doesn't end here. Like keep brewing over, and if you've got something for your colleagues, your peers, share in that group. Okay. And so Renard, just the question that you said, what are the top 3 challenges keeping you stuck from being, I guess, your maximum productive and focused? Or that's not quite the right English, but I think productive and focused were those 2 key words. I'm feeling really good about that question. Does anybody, is that what you're thinking of taking out there?
It is, what are your top 3 challenges that's preventing you from achieving high focus and productivity? Something along those lines. But
I think that's going to really resonate with your audience, and it's going to be something they can connect to right now. Does anybody have anything they want to add or question for Renard? No. Okay. I think we've got through everybody. Trey unfortunately dropped off the call, but hopefully he'll be not on a plane next week and he can talk to us. Next week we might go a little bit different. We might split the group half and half because we really have 2 of our meetings per lesson. That's kind of how I've scheduled it out so that we can spend time. So the format's going to change a little bit, but I wanted everybody to get the opportunity to meet everybody this time around. So that's why we did it this way this time. Any questions about or any things that you need answered so that you can go out and you can totally smash this first activity? Any remaining things we need to address?
Do you recommend us to start like our own Facebook group, like the other relationship experts that were on the line? They created their own page.
I definitely recommend, like, building your tribe is really important, and just getting you used to talking to that group it's definitely valuable. So I'm not going to elaborate. I'm just going to say yes. And then when we get to social media stuff in month 3, which is April, May, June, Is that right? April, May, June. Yeah, in June, then Michelle will help you flesh that out a whole lot more. But if you can start it and get some numbers in there now of your ideal clients, awesome. And if it's an open group, you can answer some questions and then approve them. That's how I've got mine set. It's great because you're starting to filter in your ideal clients. So it's really good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then going out and asking these kind of questions becomes really easy. So go for it. Great question, Renard. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, Binay, it's Jay. So with my question in relation to self-love and finding a partner, so should I be going with generic question then for at this stage, or because I'm a little bit confused. We talked about the groups that I can potentially go into and ask those questions, but should I keep my question generic, or should I find a target group where I ask that specific question?
So are you talking about like going out and asking men and women the same question?
Yeah, I'll probably do that for now. I think I'm probably more inclined towards men for now because I've been sort of working on that, and it'd probably be a bit easier to understand. But at the same time, I'm happy to work with both, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say for you, it'd be something like, what are the top 3 challenges keeping you stuck from, I don't know, finding your dream partner, or connecting? I mean, what is the number one problem that they're having at this moment? Jay, is it that they can't get a date? Is it that they can't get laid? Like, how do you want to talk?
I think it's like, getting late and getting a date is probably not a problem for those people because, they're quite often quite successful.
Okay.
It's just that having the longevity of a relationship, that's where they suffer the most. Because, when they bring, like if they're missing self-love, they approach relationship as in like they just blend in and lose a self of self in that.
Okay. So
that's one of the issues. Yeah.
So I would say, what are the top 3 challenges keeping you stuck from finding a meaningful and lasting relationship, from being in a meaningful and lasting relationship? How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Is that something that's desirable to your ideal client now?
I would say
language. So, yeah. Anybody, we got a thumbs up on that one. Anybody have, thumbs up. Okay, did you write that down?
No, actually, I'm going to go back to my desk. Back in the office.
Okay, meaningful and lasting relationship.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Great. Okay. And then let's see, that'll be your gold mining. All right. We need to wrap up, but I'm just going to go with that. You got to keep this quick because I promised I'd keep the meetings to 90 minutes or less. So I love to go around and just do a little bit of an acknowledgement for something you've achieved today, for somebody in the group, for the group as a whole. But I like to end on acknowledgement. So, and I'm just going to call you out. So be prepared, and I'll start so you have the example. I would just like to acknowledge all of you for bringing your awesomeness to this meeting and to kickstarting your coaching business in this sort of team approach. I'm so excited to be working with all of you. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and for supporting me and supporting each other, because this is going to be an epic ride. Okay, so that's my acknowledgement for the group. Grady, what would you like to, you can acknowledge yourself, the group, somebody specifically, it doesn't matter. You're going to get to do this 24 times.
I want to acknowledge Renard. His energy, I put it in the chat, but his energy is amazing. He literally, I believe energy helps sell more than our message oftentimes. Literally, he had me hooked. I was ready to buy whatever he had, and he wasn't even sure what it was he was selling. So it was great.
Go Renard.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Perfect, Grady. Thank you. Okay, Anik, you're next.
Thank you, buddy.
Hi, everybody. Well, I do acknowledge the fact that Binay found 2 more spots because it was fully booked. So thank you very much, Binay.
Yeah,
thank you, everybody.
Awesome. Perfect, Anik. Thank you so much. Takeda.
I just want to acknowledge everyone's courage for taking the step to further their businesses and do what they know they've been called to do, their passion, and thank everyone for the feedback that they've given everybody and the response. The energy in the group itself makes me feel like I'm going to get what I came for. So I'm excited.
Cool. Thank you, Takeda. Emmerich. You need to come off mute.
great. Hello. Okay, yeah. So here I'm back. So yes, I'm really excited to be part of a team. I see that there's a lot of experience in this group, and I think that we're all motivated and really determined to make this happen for ourselves and for each other in the group. So I'm really looking forward to learning from everyone's experiences and just like getting things done. So.
Awesome. Cool, Emmerich. Jay.
Yeah, look, I would like to acknowledge the help I received today with narrowing down my niche and getting the certainty that I'm walking in the right direction. So thanks, everyone.
Awesome, Jay. Thank you. Terry.
I just want to acknowledge the group for the great feedback. Everybody's already, we just met and it already feels almost like family, like we're working really well together. And shout out to Benet for pulling people from around the world together on one call.
Yay. Thanks, Terry. Dwayne.
I just like to acknowledge.
Oh, he dropped out. Are you still there, Dwayne?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, try that.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. All right, I just like to acknowledge everyone, for just listening, but Nay for just bringing us together, and my wife for just staying on top of me. Let me know we got this call, so you better get on.
Go, Atia. All right, cool. Atia, you're next.
So I want to acknowledge Mr. Grady. He gave me an awesome quote, but I can't remember. I know it was like informational instead of something. And I wrote it down, but I couldn't catch the rest. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope he repeats it. So Mr. Grady, please, can you repeat that for me?
That it was, that basically it was important to be inspirational and transformational and not merely informational.
Yes, thank you so much.
Awesome, awesome. All right, Renard.
Oh, sorry, you guys caught me eating. I really want to acknowledge you, Benet, because it takes a lot, I think, for a lot of people to be willing to be led. And you're someone who I admire and I'm looking forward to learning from, as well as my peers within this group. So kudos to everyone, and I'm looking forward to being inspired and also hopefully being an inspiration to everyone else.
Awesome, thank you. All right, Sylvie.
Well, thank you, everyone. It's great to see how willing you were all to get on the call no matter what. We saw people in their cars. We have Jay who's working, and we have Anik who's all the way in Belgium. Yeah. So I'm really glad to be here and glad to be part of this. And thank you, Benet.
My absolute pleasure. Okay, guys, that's a wrap. Thank you so much. We've made our first meeting. I can celebrate now. This has been like an epic wrap for me. So this is going to be a good weekend. I can relax. And I'll see you all next week. It's very likely that we will be meeting an hour early. I will confirm that. I'll send you all the link to the tracking spreadsheet and to the Facebook group so you can all get on there and keep this conversation and this energy and this buzz going until we meet again next week. All right. Have a great, whatever time it is for you, evening. I think it is for everybody except for me and Jay. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Happy coaching. I'm supposed to say happy coaching.